Hare Krishna. Om Jnana-Timirandasya Kiranjana Salakaya Chakshum Blitam Jena Tasmai Shri Vedic Pongam Hayade Grim Yadkripat Shigurum Dinataranam Bancha Kalpatibhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva Parikanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasati Gaura Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
So just a little introduction about the devotees project here. So we have a team called Traveling Sankirtan Party under the leadership.
There's 10 traveling Sankirtan?
Traveling Sankirtan Party, TSP. So under the leadership of His Grace Vijaya Prabhu. So they all every day they go out for distributing Srila Prabhupada's books in the city of Hyderabad. We have a bus also in front of the temple you must have seen. So we travel all over India, and whenever in Hyderabad, every day we go out, distribute books, and all of them they go out every day for distributing.
Oh, very good. Hare Krishna.
Very, very fortunate to have you. You are the emblem of book distribution. So we're very thankful that you have come here and listen.
Hare Krishna.
Maybe you can share some stories of
Yeah.
distribution. So welcome Prabhuji, one time chanting Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
You guys penetrated my heart there. Prabhupada Saraswati, he says, Dante Nidhaya Trinakam Parivardham Nipatya. That, my dear sir, I offer all respects to you. You're so intelligent. Everything about you is wonderful. Now please, forget everything and accept the mercy of Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu. So there's a saying in America, flattery will get you everywhere. You understand? Flattery? Flattery. Flattery means you praise someone. You offer some praise. And there's one devotee in America. Actually, he's the biggest distributor in the world. He's the #1 distributor in the world. And he says that he praises people at least in 3 different ways. And 80% of the time they take a book. And if he doesn't do that, then 40% of the time they take a book. He gives some praise. Oh, my dear friend, you look so intelligent. You know, nice dress, you know. So you do some praise. It's good. People like, and also get their name. People like to hear their name. It's like nectar to hear their name. So when you stop someone, oh, my name is Dasan or Das. What's your name? My name is Dasan or Dasi, or you know, whatever. So whatever they say the name is, well, hey, Bill, we have these nice books here. Say their name. They like to hear their name. And when you say their name, it becomes personal. When you say their name, you become their friend. So getting their name and repeating their name while you're speaking to them is good. So praise them, get their name. So these are practical things on book distribution. And there's a pastime of Krishna. When Krishna was in Vrindavan, he asked the cowherd boys to go to the yogic brahmanas to get some prasad. They were hungry. But they wouldn't do it. They ignored them. And they were a little disappointed. And Krishna said to them, when you go out and you beg, naturally there'll be some people that don't go along with your desires. You have to be tolerant. And he said, Etavas jamasapoyam dehinam yadeyash. Prana artha dhyavacha shreya acharanam sada. I think this is a little too chilly. He says it's the duty of everyone to help others. With prana, with their life. Prabhupada wanted devotees to give their life to Krishna. Now people are giving their life for what? To satisfy their senses. But they're not their senses. They're the soul. So what a waste of the human form of life. So it's very auspicious that we give our life to Krishna, giving this knowledge to others. Like sometimes when I distribute books, people ask, so how much should I give? And I said, well, you know, I gave my life. If you can give your life, that'll be good. Usually they don't do that, but something, give something. So prana, we give our life to Krishna, and giving Krishna consciousness to others is the best way to give our life. People give their lives for the country, just like now in Ukraine and Russia there's a war, and Israel also. People are giving their life for their country. Well, what's a country? We don't have anything to do with these countries. It's an illusion. But to give our life for Krishna, very auspicious. Then Krishna, he gives himself. We give our life to Krishna, he gives himself. So we come out doing real good if we can achieve Krishna. So prana, artha, means wealth. Just like many devotees, they come and they give their wealth, just like this building was given by a gentleman, a very generous gentleman. And all over the world, devotees are giving donations. So the best donation is to give our life. Give everything. Prana, artha, diya. Diya means intelligence. And Krishna is known as Diyampati, means the Lord of intelligence. So sometimes when we're distributing books, people give excuses, right? Why not to take a book? Yeah? Sometimes many excuses. Like I distribute books to Christians. Sometimes they'll say, no, I'm a Christian. They become defensive. I tell them, no. We're not trying to change your belief. So they put their defense down. But there's always more to learn about God. God is unlimited. And many times they say, okay, yeah, good point, all right, I'll take a book. Sometimes they say, no, the book is too heavy. I tell them, well, this book is so heavy, it'll carry you. Okay. I was distributing books door to door in Australia. They knocked on a door. And a man came to the door and he saw I had the Bhagavad Gita. He said, no, I'm not interested. I worship Satan. I said, oh, so this book is all about God. You should know your enemy. He said, all right, good point. I'll take it. So people will come up with many excuses. Why not to take a book? But we got to use our intelligence. And Krishna will help us. So prana, artha, diya. Intelligence, got to use our intelligence. And intelligence comes from Krishna. But we have to be connected. And where does that come from? We have to have very good sadhana. You see, the nice thing about book distribution is it gives impetus to have good sadhana. Because you know, you go on book distribution, it's not easy, so you got to be really fixed up. Good sadhana. That's our strength and our protection. Just like many thousands of years ago, warriors, they would go to battle and they would be very strong, yeah? And they would have their weapons and they would have their shield ready for war. Like Battle of Kurukshetra, very powerful warriors, ready, you know, good shape. So imagine someone goes out there and he's just wearing a gamsha. He'll be finished. He'll be finished in no time. So this is our strength, sadhana, and our protection. So you had to hear our rounds very nicely. Just like on book distribution, also a big part of book distribution is prayer. You have to pray, Krishna, please, help me to be an instrument in your hand. Please, give me compassion for these souls. Help me to understand this is what is most needed. So we have to pray. And sometimes it's Krishna, help. That's like Draupadi. You know, Dushasana was trying to disrobe her, and she was trying to, with her little arm, she was trying to protect, and then she put one arm up, and then she said, no, Govinda, Govinda. And Krishna, the first time ever, Krishna incarnated as a sari to protect his devotees. So we have to call out, Krishna, please help me to serve you by giving this knowledge out to others. And Krishna will help us. In book distribution, it's a magical experience. It's like you've all had the experience. Sometimes you might be having a hard time, and then you pray to Krishna, and all of a sudden, nice people come, yeah, and they take books. Isn't it? It's magic. Naham tistami vaikunte yogino viryesava tata tistami narada yatagayanta madhva. He says, I'm not in Vaikuntha, I'm not in the hearts of the yogis, I'm wherever my devotees are spreading my glories. So when we go on book distribution, we go out and we meet Krishna. We all want to meet Krishna. Please, Krishna. So book distribution is the best way. Prana artha diya vacha. And then words. We have to use our prana, our life, artha, our wealth, intelligence, and words, vacha. So in book distribution, we're using our words. All of us speaking about the books and trying to convince people the importance of the book. So we're talking all day long about the books. Very auspicious. Śrī Caitanya-Caritāmṛta. So this is the ultimate benefit. There's Shreyas and there's Preyas. Shreyas means this is the ultimate benefit. In giving Krishna to others. There's no better thing that we can do. Because Krishna says, Yaidang paramanguyam madbhaktas. That anybody who is preaching this message of Bhagavad Gita is very dear to me. And there'll never be anyone more dear to me than that person. So this is the best thing. When we go out and we distribute books, the best thing that could happen in that person's life that we're approaching is that they can get a book. They're doing so much nonsense in their life, but if they can get a book about Krishna, learn about Krishna, it's the best thing that could happen to them. And we never know. We never know what's going to happen when someone gets a book. There's a saying in India here that on every grain of rice there's someone's name. Yeah. How do they say?
Dane dane pe khane wale ka naam.
Yeah. Everybody knows it. So similarly, on every book there's someone's name. The person who actually gets the book may not be the person that reads the book. They might pass it on to someone else. Just like this wonderful devotee by Śrī Prabhu. The way he became a devotee is a friend of his bought a BTG back in 1973. And he wasn't interested, but he knew his friend might be interested. So he went to my Śrī Prabhu and he knocked on his door and he wouldn't answer because Vaisesika was thinking, he's me, I'm him, why should I answer the door for me? He was a little Mayavadi, you know? I'm him, he's me, why should I answer the door for me? So his friend said, I know you're in there. I have a magazine for you. So he left it at the door. He left. And then Vaisesika Prabhu, he opened the door and he saw the BTG. And he opened it up and he saw the picture of Prabhupada. As soon as he saw the picture of Prabhupada, he said, this is my guru. And now he is one of the most inspiring devotees in book distribution in the world. But that's how it began, just a little BTG. There was one person, he was in the forest, walking his dog. And his dog stopped to smell something. And he wouldn't go away, so the master tried to pull him away, but you know, he wanted to smell. What are you smelling there? So he moved the leaves, and he saw Krishna book. What is this Krishna book? So he sat down, he started reading it. You know, it's kind of interesting. So he took it home, and he read it, and eventually he became a devotee. Big book distributor. So this is probably the first time ever that a dog became the Varma Pradarshika guru. Now someone might say, well, you know, they weren't interested, so they just threw the book down and might think, well, that's finished with that book. But no, it was meant for somebody else. Somebody else's name was on that book. So we don't know who's going to end up with the book. We just have to get the books out. Just get the books out there. And they'll, you know, because these books aren't ordinary books, they're actually Krishna. We're giving people Krishna, not just books. And Krishna has a way to get around to the person that he wants to read the book. So this is the best activity that we can do for society. Prana artha diya vacha shreya acharanam sada. There's so many welfare activities around the world. People are building hospitals, feeding the poor, but this is the best. Many times Prabhupada said this is the best welfare activity, because by this activity, people get to know who they are. They don't even know who they are. In Maya. And so we're trying to help people get out of Maya. It also helps us get out of Maya. Because again, we have to have very good sadhana. Good rounds, chant good rounds. And read Prabhupada's books very attentively. Because we're going to battle. Prabhupada wrote a letter to one devotee. Our temples are not places for eating and sleeping, but they are bases from where we send out our soldiers to fight against Maya. And to fight against Maya means to drop hundreds and thousands, millions of bombs on the laps of the conditioned souls. Bombs means the books. It's like so many people, they get books and they just put it in their bookshelf. But it's ticking. Tick, 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 tick. And then, boom! They open it up. Like there was one instance where a lady and her husband, they were living in America. And the lady was in a situation where she couldn't do anything due to physical anomalies. So she thought, well, let me read the Bhagavad Gita. It was there. Her husband had gotten it 10 years earlier, but neither one of them had read it. But she thought, well, this is a good opportunity to read it. She was pregnant. So she read it and she was like, wow, this is amazing. So she told her husband, you got to read this book, it's amazing. So he read it, and they became very enthusiastic to serve Krishna. And then they moved to Boise. There was no temple in Boise, Idaho. So they made their own temple. They turned their house into a temple. And they homeschooled their children. And one of them is Radhika Raman. Maybe some of you know Radhika Raman. A very famous preacher, professor now, but he's also a very good preacher. So the book was there for 10 years, waiting. Sometimes when I try to distribute books, they say, no, I have no time. No time to read. So I tell them, well, you know, books are patient. They'll wait. Long time. Decades. No problem. Put it in your bookshelf. It will patiently wait. And there was this instance of one young man, he wanted to know about God. So he asked his mother, you know, I'm trying to learn something about God, can you help me? She said, well, have you read the Bible? He said, yeah, but I didn't get much out of it. Oh, you know, 20 years ago I got this book called Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God. Maybe that'll be good. So 20 years previous, she had gotten the book. She didn't read it, but it was waiting. Tick, tick, tick. And she gave it to her son. He became a devotee. You see? So we just have to get the books out there. And it may take a long time for people to take advantage. And Prabhupada said they just touch a book, they benefit. Because it's Krishna. They just appreciate, oh, nice pictures. Prabhupada said they benefit. Because the appreciation. Or they see a devotee. There's one person, he was at a concert, and he saw this devotee, and he was glowing. He's like, wow, look at this person's glowing. So he went up to him, the devotee distributed a book to him. And it turns out that this person was a Prabhupada disciple, but he had gone off into Maya. But he got this book from the devotee and became a devotee again. Now he's in Mayapur distributing books. Yeah. So he saw the devotee glowing. So this is what happens. You get on book distribution, you get fired up, you get it, you glow. I was distributing books just about a year ago in San Diego Zoo. And one lady, she said to me, "You're glowing." I said, "You read these books, you'll glow too." So it's very inspiring, purifying, by reading and distributing these books. Srila Prabhupada, he said to the devotees, this is what you should say to distribute books. Krishna sadamo bhagate dharma yana harivisa kalau natrasame saparana bodhidodina. This Bhagavad Purana is as brilliant as the sun. And it's arisen just out of the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied with religion, knowledge, etc. So some devotees were doing that. And people were taking books. So this is what is needed. And these books are like, they're like that. They're like the sun. They'll light up people's lives. There's so much darkness in this world. So we're trying to light up their lives. And nothing is better than Krishna's words. One person said to Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Arjuna was so fortunate that Krishna spoke to him the Bhagavad Gita. And Prabhupada said, no. If you read Bhagavad Gita, it's just like Krishna standing there speaking to you. Bhagavad Gita. There's no difference. To read Bhagavad Gita or to have Krishna standing there speaking the Bhagavad Gita. It's absolute. So we should take advantage. We're very fortunate. And be grateful that we have this knowledge and that we have young bodies, so we could use our youth in giving Krishna to others. So be grateful. And if we're not grateful, we're great fools. Be very grateful to have this knowledge and to be in a situation where we can help others give this knowledge. So it is what is most needed. So maybe I'll leave it open for some question. You're all book distributors. Maybe you have some question about book distribution. Yes.
Sometimes people say that they already have books.
Sometimes people say, yeah, I have Bhagavad Gita, I already have. Therefore, it's good to have a variety. Oh, you have Bhagavad Gita? Well, here, we have this also. And you could offer other books. In America now, they are doing something so-called Saptarishi, 7 books stacked. And now there's Mahotsaha Prabhu. He distributes full Srimad Bhagavatam sets to people that never heard of Krishna. Yeah, amazing. And he's training up bhaktas also. There's bhaktas out there selling full sets to people who never heard of Krishna. It's a whole new level of book distribution. Huge. So this is showing us there's no limit. There's no limit to how much we can do if we're sincere. The spiritual master told him he should distribute 1,000 books a day. And he's done that many, many times. So, yeah. It's good to have a variety. We have so many types of books now, so bring variety. And it's not that only the big books will change people's lives. Small books are also very powerful. There's one instance of a student. He was in New York City in the subway. And someone gave him one of these small books, pamphlet, on the way to Krishna. So he thought, all right, let me check it out. So he took it home, and he's reading it, and he was like amazed, like, wow, this person is powerful. You know, Prabhupada is very powerful. So just this little book, he was so impressed. So he wrote to the BBT in Los Angeles to get more books. And he was just reading Prabhupada's books every day, hours. And then, so this is back in 1973, when gradually more and more books were coming. So he heard that the 5th canto was out, but he called the BBT and they said they didn't have it there. He knew there was devotees in New York City that distributed books. So he thought, let me go and ask. So he went to one devotee, Devi Shakti Mataji. Do you have the 5th canto? I have other canto. I'm looking for the 5th canto. She said, no, I don't have it here. But we might have it, I think we have it at the temple. And he said, no, you're not going to get me to go to the temple. So he had faith in Prabhupada's books, but not the devotees. He didn't want to go to the temple. He said, no, you're not going to get me to go to the temple. So she said, all right, at least give a donation. He said, I don't have my checkbook, I don't have any cash. That's all right, we can go to your flat. He's like, oh God, all right. So he went to his apartment with her. And he said, wait here, I'm going to go up. So he went up to his apartment, and he's waiting 15 minutes. And then she's thinking, oh, this guy, he tricked me. But then he came down with his checkbook, and he said, I'm only going to give you $2,000. He said, no, you got to give 5. So he's thinking, oh God, all right, 5,000. And she gave him a little book. Yeah. That was Devamrita Swami. That's how he joined. little book, On the Way to Krishna. Very powerful. Prabhupada's books are very powerful. So we got to get them out. So it's good, you have these, your young bodies, so you should use your youth and your old age to distribute books. Anything else? Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the wonderful session. It really enlightened us. The question was like during marathon, I experienced this when we were distributing at the signal. So I met a person and then I told ki we are distributing free books in schools and colleges. Please help us to sponsor some of the books. And then we have distributed 20,000 books as of now. And you help us more distributing. Then he asked me ki out of this 20,000 books that you have distributed, how many of the students are currently reading the Gita and what kind of impact you are making? So then they really want to know what the impact by the book distribution we are making statistically, so that they can also support in that way. And such report I don't have in that way to give. So what should be our reply? Because they look what exactly we are doing and what is the real result out of it. And this is something which takes more long time than they want to support something which is tangible in that way, like schools and hospitals.
Well, you'd have to tell them, there's no way that we can tell whether someone is sitting down and reading the book. We can't follow them around and see, But these books, you just tell them, these books are changing people's lives all over the world, not just here in India, but these are the words of Krishna. So they're changing people's lives, transforming people's lives. So you just have to, speak in that way. And if he's reasonable, he'll accept that, say, yeah, okay. And you just tell him, I'm an example myself. I got a book, it changed me, now I'm trying to help others. How many of you came because you received a book? Okay, see? Also college preaching. Who came because of college preaching? Okay, yeah. So mostly by books. Yeah. Me also. So many people come because of books. Books change people's lives. They're seeds. We're planting seeds. These books are seeds. And people are getting these books. And they're changing their lives. Anything else?
Most of the times people will say like, I have no time to read books. So how we can respond?
Yeah, maybe you weren't here. But I tell them, you have no time, but books are patient. They'll wait. They're very patient. We're not very patient ourselves, but books are very patient. They'll wait, decades. You can distribute a book to someone, and they have it in their home for 50 years. And you may go back to Godhead because of your book distribution. And then Krishna tells you, you know that book you distributed 50 years ago? The person became a devotee. So, we don't know what's going to happen, what the result of book distribution. But as I said, we just have to keep on getting them out to people. And sometimes they say, I don't read. Vaiseshika Prabhu says, that's okay. If you just put the book in your house, it'll create auspiciousness. Just have the book in your house. So he said that to one lady. She said, all right. So then she gave a donation, took off, and then 5 minutes later, he's talking to somebody else, and she said, it's already working. I got an upgrade to first class. So I say, see, I told you. So just having the book, because the book is they're deities, they're Krishna. Like some devotees, they wanted to have deities in their Sankirtan band. Prabhupada said, no, not necessary. You just worship the books. Worship the books, because they're Krishna. It's like whenever we drop a book, what do? We put it to our head. Right? Please forgive me. It's Krishna, not ordinary books. So we're introducing them to their old friend, Krishna, their best friend. Yeah.
What if someone says, I'm not interested?
I'm not interested. Yeah, I was distributing books one time in Los Angeles airport, and I was talking to one young man, and I was showing it to him, and he was showing some interest, but then he was a little, nah, I probably won't read it, I'm not that interested. So I said, I pointed to his head and said, up here, you're not that interested, but here, you're very interested. He said, all right, you got me. So he took the book. So there's that mind and heart. You know, the mind is a rascal. So you got to let him know there's a difference. And deep in the heart, they want God, they want Krishna. Another time I was distributing in the airport there in Los Angeles, and I approached one Indian man. And I offered the Bhagavad Gita to him. He said, oh, I have something to show you. And I thought he was going to bring out the Bhagavad Gita also. But he pulled out the Bible. I said, isn't that ironic? Here I am, an American, offering you the Bhagavad Gita, and you're showing me you have the Bible. Now, I've read the Bible. Have you read the Bhagavad Gita? He said, no. So you should also read the Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So, took the Bhagavad Gita. I was distributing books at a university table. And one Muslim student came to the table. And I was showing him the Bhagavad Gita. And he said, oh yeah, this is very interesting, very nice. But if I take this book home, my parents will kill me. Muslims are heavy. You know? It's like Haridas Thakur, he was just chanting Hare Krishna, they were going to kill him. Tried to kill him. It's heavy. So I said to him, you know, God is more important than your parents. And he was shocked when he heard that. Never heard that before. But it's true. And he knew it. But then he said, but I still can't take it. He said, wouldn't take it. The next day, he comes to my table. He said, I'm so glad to see you. I'm so glad that you're here. You won't believe what happened last night. I'm sleeping. And I have this dream. More like a nightmare. My parents were very cruel to me. They were mean and using foul language and just nasty. And I was like shocked. Why? What is this? And then the Bhagavad Gita showed up in the dream, glowing beautiful. It's like, oh, I gotta get this book, you know. So then he got the book, despite his parents, his cruel parents. So, Krishna helps. There's one instance where a devotee was going door to door with books, and he knocked on the door, and the lady then answered the door. She said, "Oh, please come in. I'll take all your books." And he was surprised. He said, "Why?" He had not even presented them. She said, "I had a dream." And when he looked into when he went into the house, there was a 7-foot picture of Jesus Christ. Beautiful. She said, "Jesus came to me in a dream and said, a monk is going to come to your door and he's going to offer books to you. You should take the books." So here you are with these books. So I'll take all of them. So Jesus helps us also. And she said she had been a vegetarian for many years because Jesus came to her in a dream and said, "You should not eat meat." Amazing. Huh? It's very close. Amazing. So many amazing stories. I have this book called The Treasures of the Brihat Mridanga. Any of you have? You have? Yeah. Stories, so many nice, amazing stories. So one devotee told me, "Vijay, you have so many stories, you got to put it in a book, otherwise it's going to be all forgotten." So, inspiring. Anything else? What time is it? 12? Yeah.
Prabhuji, how do we inspire them to take more books? Like some people are interested to take 1-2 books, but then we see them that they have potential to do more, to donate more as well.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we put that in a right way so that they can do that?
Yeah. Yeah, we would like people to take more books. But there's a golden rule to book distribution. Does anybody know the golden rule? The golden rule to book distribution is everybody walks away with a good impression. Everybody walks away with a good impression. They may not even take one book, but we want them to walk away feeling that they had a good exchange. Because if we're too heavy, if we push them too much, they can get upset, right? We don't want them to get upset. We want them to walk away with a very good impression. Just like Vaiseshika Prabhu he has his exit mantra. Exit. If they don't take a book, he says, "Well, I want to thank you so much for giving me your valuable time. It's been a pleasure meeting you, and have a wonderful day." That's if they don't take a book. And there was one time that he said that, and he was so nice. He said it was such feeling and so nice that this couple, they came back and said, "You know, you were such a gentleman, you were so nice, we changed our mind. We'll take the book and give you a donation." So, yeah, it's so important that people walk away with a good impression, that they met a very nice gentleman. And maybe next time they meet a devotee, they'll have a change of heart, and they will take a book. So we can't be too attached to the results. You know, that's one of the big pitfalls with book distribution. We become too attached. We want to get our name up in lights, or be too pushy. You don't want to be too pushy. Krishna's in control. There's a nice verse in the Bhagavad Gita that I sometimes chant like japa on book distribution, just as I have the proper mentality. Upatishtana mantacha bharta bhokta mahishva paramatmeti chapyukto dehesmin purushapara. That within this body there's another transcendental enjoyer. He's the Lord, He's the Supreme Proprietor, He's the Overseer and Permitter. So He is the Overseer, He is the Permitter. Sometimes we start getting a little pushy, and I'm going to convince this person to take a book. Yeah. False ego. And then the person we're trying to get them to take a book, they also feel the false ego. So their false ego gets involved. It becomes an ego clash. You're not going to convince me to take a book. No, I'm going to convince you to take a book. Ego clash, right? No. Krishna is in control. We're not in control. So we have to see. We have to depend on Krishna. Don't depend on our abilities. Depend on Krishna. And if you do, if you just depend on Krishna, it's like you might be distributing books and you're trying to convince the person to take a book. But at some point, you have to stand back subtly and let Krishna do his magic. He's good at that. He's amazing. So you do your presentation, stand back. And sometimes, just subtly stand back. Sometimes the person may say, hey, where'd you go? So we got to subtly stand back and let Krishna do it. We do you have to say something, present the book, but ultimately, Krishna's in control. The prayasam prayam prapya, non vijit prapya. One who does not rejoice upon achieving something pleasant, nor lament upon achieving something unpleasant, who is self-intelligent, unbewildered, such a person, and knows the kingdom of God. He actually advances toward the kingdom of God. So we shouldn't rejoice. I remember I was on book distribution and someone gave a devotee a big donation and he started dancing. Here you go, here you go. If we rejoice so much, then also they'll also suffer. It's Krishna's mercy. Shouldn't be too excited. Nor lament. Prabhupada said, Sudras they lament. Of course we can lament that we're not surrendered to Krishna. That's okay, but if people don't take a book or they give a small donation, don't lament. Vaiseshika Prabhu, he has this program called the Penny Principle. He tells them if people don't take a book, then just tell them, can you give 1 penny or 1 rupee? Give 1 rupee. 1 rupee. There was a story that a devotee was at a house and he was trying to convince the person to take a Bhagavad Gita. And he didn't want to give anything for it. He was a little interested, but he didn't want to give it. So the devotee said, just give 1 penny. Give 1 penny. Means like a rupee. He said, all right. So he went up to his room and he's looking through the drawer for a penny. And his wife saw him looking through the drawer. She said, what are you doing? I'm looking for a penny for this book. And she took the book. She said, this is the Bhagavad Gita. Man, this is a nice book. What are you doing? You can't just give a penny for a Bhagavad Gita. Give him a nice donation. He gave $50. which means 4,000 rupees, right? Yeah. So she changed his heart. Asked for a penny, got $50. So even if they just give a rupee, they benefit. It's like Prabhupada gives a story of one sadhu. He was going and he was collecting alms. Then he went to one house. And he said, no, I'm not interested. But then he came and he gave, well, here, and I'll give you something. And he gave ashes. And the sadhu said, oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Why are you thanking me? Because you began the process of giving. And he took those ashes to the temple, and they were using the ashes to polish the paraphernalia, deity paraphernalia. So he got benefit. And then he went back some years later, and they were devotees. They started their service. Started out with giving ashes, and then they became devotees. So even they give a small donation, that's good. They've started the giving process. I mean, who knows how long it's been? There've been millions of lifetimes that they've given service to Krishna. So now, they give a rupee. It's good. Started. So we shouldn't be too attached to getting big donations. Krishna's not poor. Okay, anything else? Yes. Yeah.
When he goes for doing book distribution in the streets, but like it's happened some 2-3 hours, that books that doesn't went, so he feels very discouragement that he feels I should change my service, I should not do book distribution. Can you give some?
Okay. There's a verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam which Prabhupada says is the guide for all devotees. That's 10.14.8. If you know it, you can chant with me. Tattena kampam susamik samano bunjana evame vipako Ridvav purvir vidham namaste jivete yomukti pade sadoyava. So Prabhupada said this is a guide for all devotees, and we're all trying to be devotees, so all of you should know this verse. Krishna says, actually this is Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma, he is speaking to Krishna. This is after the Brahma Vimohana Leela, where he stole the calves and cowherd boys. He said, always seeking your compassion, he's saying to Krishna, thus tolerating all difficulties as being due to his own past activities, and serving you with his mind, body, and words, such a devotee is eligible to inherit the kingdom of God. So you see, there's a positive aspect of this verse, and there's a negative. Always seeking your compassion. So we should always seek the compassion of Krishna and tolerate the difficulties. Book distribution is not easy. There'll be times when it's difficult. But that's good, because that gives us opportunity to take shelter of Krishna. Just like Queen Kunti, she says, Vipada santata saspat tatra tatra jagatguru bhavato darshanam yatsat apuna bhavadarshana. This is one of the most amazing prayers. She prays, Krishna, please give me calamity. Anybody pray like that? She's so exalted. Please give me calamity, because when calamity comes, I take shelter of you. And by taking shelter of you, I overcome birth and death. So when you're on book distribution, you don't have to pray for calamity. It'll come. And it's good, because we take shelter of Krishna. And we continually take shelter of Krishna, and we get purified. And we pray. When it's difficult like that, then we pray, Krishna, please, please help me to distribute this mercy. Please send some nice people to receive your mercy. When things are going easy, then tendency is we don't pray. Imagine you go out on book distribution, and every person you speak to takes many books and gives nice donations all day long. Now what would the tendency be? We become proud. Yeah. I'm so good. Now I know how to do it. I got it down now. And then what happens? You get smashed. So book distribution helps us to be humble. Humility is the Prabhupada said, is the essence of devotional service. So book distribution helps us to be humble. I am not the doer. Krishna is the doer. I am the servant. Anything else? Yes.
Sometimes we are distributing books, so people are taking and they are asking what is the cost of this book. And we are telling like this is the printing cost of the book. And they are negotiating the book, bargaining. You can give me like 100.
It's India, right?
So what we can tell to them, like, even if we tell this is actually printing cost, if you give this printing cost, we'll print another book. So it will be help to make another book printing. Even they are not listening, so give me for 100 rupees or 50 rupees. So what we can say to them?
Let them have it for whatever they want. And what I find is that when you do that, within a short time somebody else gives more. Isn't it? Isn't it? Krishna reciprocates. Krishna's in everyone's heart. So be nice. They want to have that bargain. That's okay. Somebody else will give more. It all works out. At the end of the day, it all works out. Right? Sometimes they even let the books go for free. And within a few minutes, someone else comes and gives a nice donation. I was distributing books in the San Diego Zoo, and one young man came to the table, and he was showing interest, and he wanted the book, but he didn't have any money. I said, that's okay. If you like, you can give a donation tomorrow. So the next day he came and he gave a nice donation, took a Bhagavad Gita and other books, and then he started visiting the temple regularly, and then he joined the ashram, and now he's a big book distributor from Russia. So yeah, we had to be merciful. Krishna, you see, wherever there is Krishna, there's Lakshmi. So if we give Krishna, don't worry, Lakshmi will take care. She's the goddess of fortune. So if we sincerely give Krishna, Lakshmi will sincerely come. As we see, such a nice result here. The preaching is going nicely, so devotees are inspired to serve. So we just have to preach sincerely and nicely, and amazing things will happen. Beyond our ability to understand. Like Prabhupada, he was amazed. And he started out with nothing, and then within just a short time, 5 or 6 years, he got temples all over the world. Amazed. That's Krishna. Krishna magic. Okay. Anything else?
Related to this, like, we given books to them. Like, they say like, we didn't bring any money, we don't have online. So we'll say like, you can give tomorrow or next after some days, whenever you get the chance to give the money, you can scan our QR code. So we are giving our QR code also. Even they are not they are not giving that payment, the money for the book. What will happen to them? If they get book free, like that I given 4 or 5 people. They didn't given any donation also.
So what's going to happen to them? Well, they might become a devotee. There's one instance of a person, he was distributing books in the airport in Atlanta, Georgia. And the devotee was showing the book to him. And he said, all right, I'll read it. And walked away. No, but we're trying to get a donation. He said, if I like it, I'll give you a donation. And walked away. So then he read the book and became a devotee. He became a GBC member. And Prabhupada wanted that he become the President of the United States. Bhaktivedanta Prabhu. Very nice devotee. So how did he become a devotee? He stole the book. And then Krishna stole his life. Took his life. One thing also is sometimes when we distribute books, we say, well, here, you get one. Now you say when you get one, that means it's for free. So that's a problem that around the movement. We present it like it's for free, then we ask for donation. Even I was at one university, and one professor was at my table, and he said, are you a Hare Krishna? I said, yeah. He said, oh yeah, you're the people that give out the free books, and then after you give the free book, you ask for a donation. I said, yep, that's us. But it's not good, we present it like it's for free, then we ask for donation. Then we take the book back if they don't give a donation. Not good. We should present the book, show the book to them. Here, check this out, we're showing this to people. Don't make it seem as though it's for free. And then we demand a donation. You present it here, let me show you this here. Check this out. Same result. And then ask for a donation. Don't present it like it's for free and then ask for a donation. Doesn't look good. That means they don't walk away with a good impression. And we have that reputation. Giving out books and then demanding donation, and then taking the book back if they don't give a donation. It's not good. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Transcendental Book Distribution ki jai.
His Grace Vijaya Prabhu ki jai.
A little echo there.